112K BTC. Is it time for a short-term bounce, or are they going to come with a little bit of a dump first? So we're taking a look at that. There's a lot of oscillators telling us we could be teed up for a move. I've got tons of altcoins for you guys. Is it time to start the Monday off with a bang? Let's go. And remember, as always, if you like doing dumb shit, hit the like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. And the boys are in the house. I've got two boys in the house. 𝗵𝗆𝗪𝗧 is here. That looks navy. So that's not a sign. That's not an indication, right?
Quite neutral. Yeah, no, I'm still walking funny after the past 24 hours. So
come on. Come on. He's walking like a cowboy. Okay. And let's see. Talking about people walking like cowboys. Hello, sir.
Yeehaw. What's up? How's it going?
Bullish or bearish here?
Actually, I'm in James's usual court. 𝗵𝗆𝗪𝗧. Very unusual. I've got longs and shorts today.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like we need to see a short-term bounce. I've got bullish divergence on 1 hour, 2 hour. Like I've jumped into a couple of longs. I'm long BTC. I'm long ENA, Lido, trying to build a position here. Maybe we're getting a short-term bounce. We're going to talk about it in detail. And I see Jay's in the house there as well, wearing his suit in the picture. Okay, let's go. Banter bubbles, Saros are still, I don't know, not ready to touch that thing yet. That thing is 6% up. Everything else looks pretty rinsed. And are we going to get a bounce? We've had a consistent sell-off now, probably for the last, I would say, guys, probably the last 12 hours, give or take. So it's been pretty rough, but we've seen the brakes have been put on. We've got alts sitting at some levels here. They're not quite on the zones, but they are in areas where I'm starting to have a little bit of nibble. A couple of alts that did hit zones. ETH, for example, did bounce quite nicely off one of the zones that I dropped in hackers earlier today. So all round is misery, but are they going to come and save us? Let's take a look at BTC first. Notable point here. This is the CME futures chart. What is this? Well, this basically tells us if we have a CME gap or not. And you can see at the moment, we do have a CME gap between 114K and 117K on BTC. So if we translate that into the chart, then we are looking at something along these lines here. You can see here's that CME gap, and there's a ton of resistance in this area. So these are beautiful rejection zones for us all the way up if we do get a little bit of push here on BTC. Alejandro says, what happened? I don't know. What happened? What is he talking about? Is he upset that the market fell over? Yeah, I mean, the weekend happened, bro. Low volume. There was some whale selling, I think, 24,000 BTC in one clip. They obviously wanted to send the price lower. It was a wonderful thing. But in terms of BTC, what are we looking at now? So we know we've got a CME gap, and we know that a lot of the time these gaps come and get closed. What does that mean? Well, if we're going to close a gap, they're generally going to push it up and then possibly send it a little bit lower. So with that information, we know there's potential upside targets at play for us. And the most obvious ones for me are, if we do start pushing, 114,700, 116K, and 117,500. Those make sense to me to the upside. Why do I think that we can go to the upside? Well, number one, my oscillator on the 2 hour has printed bullish divergence. It's also printed a blue reversal dot. It's also printed oversold and a green reversal print. So there's multiple reasons here on the lower time frame that we might get a short-term bounce on BTC. Again, I cannot tell you how high this is going to go. All I can tell you is the information is here, and you can see based on this info that it's already responding a little bit in the zone. So we were looking for this wick fill yesterday after that original dump. And now we've got it. And now obviously it gives the market makers time to start taking out some of the late shorters and push this thing to the upside. Okay, so interim level, I do like 110K. I still think there's a strong possibility we can come and sweep the lows. I find it pretty strange that they didn't come and just take out these lows. There would have been a lot of stops here as well. And it doesn't make sense to me that they haven't flushed that. So a move like that to the downside, 110K, is still on the table for me. A little drop into that zone and then a pump does make sense. They did it to us a couple of times this weekend as well. And check your audio, getting echo in his audio. Might not be connected. This is a good point. The boys in the back shaking and nodding their heads.
Yeah, it sounds tinny again.
Okay, wait. We can fix this.
How about
there? Oh, try again.
How about that? How about
That's
that?
better. Much better. Yeah.
There
You were sounding
we
like
go.
you were 𝗫𝗍𝗫 again.
We got a meow there as well.
Guys,
Oh, we got a
take
meow.
these-
Try the meow. There we go. They're back.
Yeah, guys, boomer vibes, boomer vibes. I trade shit coins, not work tech. Okay, it's not my best, it's not my strongest point. Okay, but here we go. Now we got the sound working again. It sounds better in my ears already. I was like, who the fuck's this guy talking here in a tin can, basically on the shitter? But okay, we sorted it out. Retirement wish says it now sounds divine. Okay, she's obviously spending too much time listening to Jay at the moment. Okay, so there's our levels on BTC. I would love to see a little sweep and a pump there at that 110K region. Makes a lot of sense to me. But this really, guys, this looks interesting. Like, this is where I like to start taking on a little bit of risk, trying to get involved, because there might be a short-term move. And you would have noticed these alts are doing a couple of things at the moment. Okay, let's get into some news. Let's look at higher time frame stuff. I've got some stocks for you as well. And then we're going to get chaos in. And we got a lot going on here. A lot of these alts, guys, I've got so many entries, and we're talking about things that could give us a short-term bounce now. And then we've got a shit the bed scenario where we get a little bit more downside. And I want you guys to be ready, because tomorrow is the WSOT Bybit competition. And if they do give us a shit the bed in the next 12, 24 hours, we could get some proper entries for that Bybit comp. Okay, so something to look forward to there. Let's get into our lickies here. Let's see, James, there were some big numbers here. $860 million, and we were talking about James while he was sleeping, but 860 million, that's quite a strong return. And I think a lot of guys got taken out. Practically all the gains from Friday's pump from Jerome Powell has been wiped out a lot quicker than I expected. But again, they were like, even that dump this weekend was a lot quicker than I expected. And he's probably thinking about other girls. And we all know what we were thinking about this weekend, really. And, the ladies, they might not believe us, but it's true. This is literally what we think about all day long. And here's someone going to work because his meme coin didn't make it, but maybe because he got lickied as well on the weekend. There we go. He's not happy. So yes, guys, it was a rough weekend. Jerome Powell got us all happy. We had a little bit of a weekend sell-off. Then we had a nice, beautiful weekend pump. And what did they do? They came and ruined everybody's weekends. Okay, they basically just wrecked everyone. Now, US stock market hits its most expensive valuation in history, surpassing the dot-com bubble and the run-up to the Great Depression. I don't know, that sounds pretty bearish, but I mean, it's the most expensive valuation. I don't know. There was a couple of comments here lower down, like in dollar terms and stuff like that. Is it so? Is it true? Are these businesses, these are serious businesses here making tons of money. This time might be different, guys, but something we need to look out for this week. Nothing too serious. Nothing coming in nearly as close to what we experienced last week, but house price index, I don't know, that could be something. Consumer confidence, these are all small little movers. Jobless claims, that's an important one. And core PCE inflation, that could be something as well for us to pay attention to. All little market movers and things like that, but nothing as big as what we saw, I think, last week with Jackson Hole. That was quite traumatic, I think. A bit of PTSD from all of that. And Matt says PCE is the only thing he cares about. Look, it's going to be interesting nonetheless. Okay, but I think last week was pretty extreme. Now, S&P nice and green again, and I think continuation from Friday, and it would make sense. Okay, a lot less volatile than the rest of the market, and pushing into all-time highs. So another big one coming up this week is Nvidia, which is practically the entire stock market. And as long as, what does he say? Are you long or short going into this week's earning report? Okay, guys, what are we going to do?
I saw a metric on this morning, yesterday, sometime, that Nvidia now has a larger market cap than the entire countries of Canada, China, all the. Easy. I'm like, what? Holy God, a company larger than countries. Just insane. That's insane.
So, guys, if you want to find out what it's all about, TrendSpider have dropped a little thread here for you. If you want to read about NVIDIA earnings and what to look out for, I'm not going to bore you with all these beautiful charts, but they've got a little bit of information here on NVIDIA if it's interesting to you. Now, what 𝗕𝗫𝗂𝗏 is saying is the implied volatility plus minus 7%. So when these earnings come out, you generally get some kind of move out of NVIDIA. And look, I think we need to make a call here. If we're longing or shorting this one, the earnings is on Wednesday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, James.
I think so.
Okay, so we'll make a call tomorrow before close, before the end of the show. We're going to go max long or max short tomorrow on NVIDIA. Let's see what the market does, and we can play. I like the earnings game. I think it's a fun game. It's like Russian roulette with stocks.
It worked really well with Palantir last time around. Hopefully it does it again.
It was a wonderful thing. Okay, and we might let James call this one as well. I think he told me to stay long Palantir, so maybe we'll give him
some research.
Yeah, and Andre says there's 93K still on the table. Andre, I think anything is still on the table, sir. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at the big chart now for you in a sec. So NVIDIA, you can see we're pushing into all-time highs. Again, tough call. Palantir was bumping all-time highs. We went long on the top, and it still pumped another 10 or 15%. So could be interesting one coming up. We'll make a call tomorrow. We'll trade it on BTCC. And then the US Gov has just bought a massive stake in Intel, or they've been given a massive stake in it, one of the two, but it hasn't really pumped the price any further with the latest news. Chaos, do you remember we looked at this trade here? And I forgot about this thing. Do you remember this? I mean, you were involved in this trade.
I was involved in this trade, and I completely forgot about it as well.
Nice. It's a nice feeling when you see Intel pump more than like injective or render.
You know what? We were right.
But we were right, but it doesn't feel the same because we weren't in it. I'm upset. Anyway, we'll do this again. And Snoop says if 93K is still on the table, the alts will shit the bed. Correct. The alts will go beyond levels you think they're going to go. They're going to print new lows. It's going to be, well, I wouldn't say glorious, but it's going to be a rough one. So Circle, I've still got another order. I've closed my Circle long. We had a nice bounce last week, and 122 is my next order for Circle. So I believe there's a little bounce play coming in here. Circle, I'm literally playing the lower time frame charts. There it is. Nice little undercarriage coming in. So I've got an order at 122 on BTCC for Circle. And then there's another level here at about 100 and 106. Could probably get another order in there. So we might get a bounce here. And I am expecting a full bounce by the time it gets to that 106. So that could be a fun trade on BTCC. Anybody interested, there is a link in the show description. You can trade these stocks with me. And Ronnie says, but it's alt season, guys. Yes, Ronnie, definitely. It's 100% alt season. Don't clip this because I'm actually being sarcastic. And Syntax says, Dylan, special thanks for Trader J. Paid 100, what is that? Rupees. What is that? What is that? 100 what? And for the ADA call, Jay, yeah, what a banger on ADA as well. And Chaos has got a nice Cardano follow-up for you guys. And Grant Cardone says, why would someone dump a load of BTC on a Sunday night rather than waiting until tomorrow? Explain. Okay, well, guess what? It's the weekend. They're obviously trying to cause all sorts of things. And we saw last night, that candle last night was rough. It was a pretty big candle on BTC. And when you come in and you market sell this amount of BTC, what was it, James? 24,000, if I'm not mistaken.
24,000 Bitcoin. Plus there was the whole Wintermute and Binance dumping. And then there was the forced liquidations because price dropped so fast. It was just a cascade of everything mixed together, and it was brutal. Just
happy
disgusting.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Happy weekend.
After having that dump all weekend, going, man, this is not what we expected. We thought some more pump. Then a huge pump and boom, in seconds. Oh, it was live when we were on Zoom too. We were just shitting our pants. Happened so quick you could hardly even shit them.
So I must say, like, I got it wrong a little bit because I'm going to show you guys this dominance chart where we were on the private hacker Zoom that we do on a Sunday night. And I was tracking the dominance chart. The market was ripping, and I was waiting for dominance to hit that 786 fib. And that for me was going to be the most beautiful TP or head short play. And while we were live on the Zoom, they just randomly started dumping it. So it was a little bit of a surprise. And let's see what comes next now. So BTC higher time frame, we are hanging on by a knickknack. I don't know if you guys know what a knickknack is, but basically it's like a tiny little chip. And we are literally hanging on by a thread at the moment onto our 236 macro level. The 100-day MA is busy holding us up right now over here. And you can see the market is doing its best, even trying to fight this 3-day bearish divergence that has started playing out. So who was asking? I think Andre or Andres or whatever was asking if 93K is still on the table. Look, based on how deep this 3-day has already moved, I'd say we got another halfway to go. So yeah, I would say 105 and 100K probably give you the bounce. Okay, I mean 93 is a little bit traumatic, but you never know if we get a cascading liquidation again or something along those lines. 93k, it must be on the table as a point of discussion. Okay, but if we lose the current zone, which is 110 give or take, then we start having that talk, okay, at 105k, and then it starts getting awkward at 100k because these alts are getting rinsed. Okay, so all I can suggest is whenever we get a bounce along the way, TP some head short play on others. Again, Sui head short, Link head short, ETH head short. They printed green for me all the way down while the market was collapsing, and it leaves you in control of the situation. Okay, so when we get nice pumps out of the market, bang out some head shorts at play and enjoy the ride down. Then you stress a little bit less. But we bounce now, or do I have to cut it off? Crypto Sam, look, I am going for a bit of a bounce now. Okay, I'm leaning towards that. I'm going to show you in detail, okay, what is going on. Okay, so there's our BTC situation. In terms of the liquidations, well, you can see tying in with that CME gap as well, we've got some liquidity to the upside. Look at that, 115k up to about 117, 118. Looks pretty good to me to the upside. And then Rect Fencer says 4 years of accumulating for alts is over. ETH hits all-time high. Rotation to alts is coming. Alt season starts now. Anyone? Any takers?
Well, I mean, that's the theory with why all that Bitcoin was dumped, is that he's rotated into ETH and that big wallets are doing that. We know that's been happening, though. That isn't just starting now, because who's going to dump Bitcoin to buy ETH at ETH's new all-time high? They've been doing it for a while. 𝗂𝘶 was on the show, weeks ago, a month ago, and he was already 75% out of his Bitcoin and into ETH already. So that's been going on. Right?
Yeah,
but no solid theory
as well. So guys, look, ETH all-time high, it is actually unreal. And you've got things like AVAX Injective trading at these lows, at these absolute lows, these prices that they're in, if you look at the chart. So yeah, I mean, in theory, they should be teed up for some kind of move here at some point. Now, the 4-hour RSI, again, a little bit of a letdown. We're not getting extreme moves to the up or the downside. We are back in weak and neutral territory on these alts. So best they bounce a little bit harder here to get us out of this phase. We want to see them sitting in strong, pushing into overbought. It gives us those final big pushes on them, and then we can take some high conviction shorts to the upside, or if we're dropping into oversold, that gives us a nice high conviction long that we're looking at. But in the middle, it starts becoming a little bit choppy, and it becomes a little bit trickier to trade. So you might get signals that you get short-term moves, but it might only last a couple of percent, and then they come and roll you back over. So one of the things you can watch is dominance, and right now you can see dominance is waking up again, getting super strong. Look at that. And we are now breaking through our resistance band. And remember, every time we hit a resistance band on dominance, this is technically the area where you get some kind of altcoin bounce. Now, if we lose an area and we pump into the next one, you generally feel a little bit of pain in some of the alts, or they don't perform as nicely, and then you have to wait for the next rejection zone. So you can see I'm just tracking a couple of fibs here at the moment, and I mean, that isn't even a banger. That's the previous support that it just sliced through the other day. But you can see this guy is a possible rejection zone. Then we've got this whole region up here at this 59%, 59.5 that could give us some kind of bounce. So we got to just play this by ear, level by level, and just pay attention. You can see overall the daily is still swearing at us. It's trying to get bullish, but they keep holding it down. I mean, when this thing does flip bullish, though, it's going to be filthy. It's going to be absolutely filthy. Now, Alex Becker, is he? I didn't realize he was such an ETH bull. Was he an ADA bull as well?
Well, no, he used to hate ADA, right? He was making jokes about it all this time, cutting everybody up on it, but he's changed his tune once it's turned around. But ETH, the reason he's in the ETH bulls, because that means alt season, right? So he's been screaming about ETH because that means we're rotating into alts. And he's been on about that for some time.
Selling this first dip after ETH breaks all-time highs, like getting your first kiss on a date. Cool. Immediately farting in your hand and rubbing it on the girl's face. I mean, that's pretty rough.
He is hilarious. I have to hand that to him. He's funny as shit.
That's a pretty rough conversation. And I think we need Chaos to actually say the last sentence. Just say that last sentence there. I think in your accent, it's going to be the best.
What are you even doing, bruv?
There we go. You see, it's best. You need that British accent. Okay, so what are you even doing, bruv? And well, let's see. Ether all-time high. Little rejection here on the upside. I had my extra short order 4999, and I sounded like I was German there for a second, but I had 4999 and looking for that sell, and it never hit, unfortunately. So got the rejection. But it was a little bit early. So in terms of ETH now, we need to look at our game plan. And, for me, now that we've had this big rejection, it tells me we are potentially in a short-term downtrend. And this sort of leads into what I was saying earlier, maybe a short-term bounce, but we might have a situation where we have to wait for lower on some of these altcoins. So here's a typical scenario that I've mapped out here on ETH. And I dropped this one in Hackers, obviously, earlier today as well. But you can see we got a short-term bounce now. We dropped into our FIB. We dropped into our VWAP. We dropped into some horizontal confluence here in this region. And we got a reaction out of ETH. Okay, so now we've got our reversal print and whatever. So it depends, again, how high does this thing go? But I am expecting some kind of lower high and then a drop a little bit down, and you're going to see it's going to tie in with some of the entries that Chaos is actually going to give you today on some of his tokens, because he's looking at some slightly higher time frame levels as well. Okay, so in terms of ETH, yeah, little bounce play. We've seen a lot of alts today in these areas. I'm not expecting to shoot the lights out. If we do go ahead and print all-time highs, I'd say that's a bonus. But in terms of printing lower highs, you can just see there is a rejection zone up here. We can just re-enter that range and then dip lower down. So ETH for me, in fact, let's just put a fib here. Let's just give you guys some kind of upside zone. And 4,740. Looks like a decent rejection zone, 4,790 as well. So anywhere in that area, I am expecting downside. In fact, I'm going to close one of my ETH bounce longs here quickly while this thing is turning a little bit red. Let's see, where's ETH here? Okay, there we go. So I caught that little bounce of that zone I dropped in Hackers today. There we go. It's closed. And you can see I'm starting to gear up a couple of longs because I was looking for some kind of bounce. You can see I got that Bitcoin long. I'm up to $160,000 long now, looking for a little bounce here on the market. Let's see if this is going to play out. Oh, I don't like this rejection, but this is one of the ones I'm building at the moment, ENA. I've got an order lower down. I'm going to take you through that chart as well. I think we're going to get a bounce on this ENA situation at some point. So be ready. It is coming in a couple of seconds. I'm going to cover that chart for you guys. Okay, so that's the ETH play. Key support lower down, 4,500 and 4,400 to 4,350. Okay, looking ideal for me on ETH. So some kind of downtrend, just like in this picture that you see over there, and then hopefully some kind of bounce. Now, you can see on the 2 hour, we have printed a reversal. What I want you guys to see, and this is applicable on a lot of these altcoins, is that your 4 hour and things like that actually wants to come down. Okay, and this is going to lead you into that shit the bed scenario that Chaos is going to take you through. Okay, so might have a situation, short-term bounce, and then we need to wait for these 4 hours to come down and do that, and then we get a bounce. Now, it depends how deep they're going to take us. How sick are they going to be this week? You know, how evil are they going to be to us? And that is the question. So let's talk Sol, because I know Chaos has got Sol here with him. And oh, you're wearing a hacker's hat. I was going to say you're wearing a bullish hat, but no, you're wearing the hacker's hat. Okay. And Mia says she's waiting for the 4 hour blue dot. That's responsible. Okay, that is very responsible. She's obviously learning things in chart hackers there. Good morning, Yumi. And William wants to go long USDT. Well, James, Sol is by far the fastest growing platform for stablecoins. Another graphic on X. So there you go. It must be true. Okay, so it's coming third at the moment. Let's talk Sol levels. Okay. What do we see right now? This is Sol on the 2 hour time frame. Beautiful pump on Friday. How was that, Chaos? Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that? Anyone do a nice little round trip there, bruv? Anyone get a round trip there like that?
No, I got out of that. My 20% club trade's still in, so we're round tripping on that. But the leverage trades, I took profit on that.
Very nice. Very nice. So, guys, in terms of Sol, bounce zone number one. Okay, this is Sol on the 2 hour. And if we are going to get a short-term bounce, you can see we've got a reversal print. Let's actually go to like more degen. Let's look at 1 hour. Let's see what the 1 hour is giving us. Because the 4 hour is not great. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we don't have divergence yet either. Ooh, might be shooting a bit earlier. Okay, so levels for Sol.
194, we here now, okay? It's not super high conviction, but in saying that, a lot of other alts are already printing divergences, okay? So interesting, 194, here we are. Then I've got a backup plan for you. I've got a VWAP and I've got a 618 horizontal sitting here around about 190, okay? Which is obviously a zone of interest. So what I'm looking for here is short-term bounce, okay? So what does that look like? For example, we could have a situation where we bounce here and then reverse, okay? And then we start moving to levels lower down, or alternatively, they just drop it straight into the 618, then they give us that, and then we start coming down into lower levels. So, either way, I am looking at a downtrend potentially here on Sol, and we got to see where they're going to take us for that next move. So if you want to play a degen play, you can see we're getting close to some kind of reversal on the 1 hour, on the 2 hour, and there could be a short-term move, but I'm not expecting a long short-term move. Okay. Chaos, talk to me about Sol. I know you had quite a nice chart there as well.
Yeah, man. So if you can bring the screen up. On Saturday, we had the live trading, right? And obviously I was with you. We spoke about Sol, and we kind of drew ourselves somewhere in the region of that, give or take. And we drew a price tool, and we basically said on Saturday, at some point, we're going to finish this scenario here, and we're going to start ranging between the top and the bottom. And I think it was about a 10% move. So we decided on Saturday that that was probably a good, solid move, and that may happen. I've just drawn a quick circle around Saturday's trading. So on Saturday, when you guys tuned into us for live trading, it was this candle here. Okay, it was actually this one here. Sorry. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that now just to keep the chart clearer. Since then, when I said to you guys, we needed to wait. So what we had at the time, we were here. Okay, and I wrote you guys a note saying, note the oscillator has just changed color. And that's because just here, we just given our first bit of red. Then I said to you guys, what we're looking for is potentially a bit of higher high action and a shit the bed scenario, shit the ceiling scenario now. And that's what's happened. So we've now got our divergence print, okay? And what's happened is this has finished coming up. We've got our short signal. And sure enough, the trade's been playing out to the downside. So far, nearly a 10% move, guys. Really nice. What I'm anticipating to continue with Dylan's theory on the short incoming, you guys know that I love a channel. Okay, I love a channel. They're great. It just pleases me to see channels. Okay, so what I'm actually looking at is the bottom part of this channel. Okay, we've got the 786 from the fib pulled from here. Okay, the previous low. We've also got our 50-day. This is the blue line that's coming in here, guys. Okay, so I can get rid of that now. You know what that is. And essentially, I'm looking for these to kind of converge somewhere around here. I've just extended the channel so you guys just get an understanding that somewhere in this circle here, there's an awful lot of stuff coming together as confluence, okay? So what I'm basically seeing now is this scenario where we just start to turn on the oscillator. We shit the bed, okay, and price comes down. We tap the bottom of this channel. Now this level, guys, is 185. And on Saturday, we said between 180 and 185. Now, I saw someone in chat just now wrote that their lickies is 194. I'm sorry that it's quite a bearish outlook for you, and hopefully you don't get liquid.
It's close. I mean, yeah, if it's not 194, I think you're going to be a bit close there. I think, I think there's a high probability you're going to get tapped there.
I see a bounce though. I do see a bounce though, Dill. I do see us coming back to tap this midline, just like we did here, before the move down. So I'm seeing a tap of the midline, which is what you just talked about with your small bounce, and then the rejection. And I think that we see 202 to 203, 204. And then I think, guys, we see 185. And then what I see after that is somewhere up here, 230, 240, 250. And that's the outlook.
Yeah, I mean, I think looking at this stuff, guys, I mean, it's very important to see, like in between, obviously we can't get these absolute banger trades that explode every single day. And last Friday was a great example of like all the reversals playing out perfectly. Now we've had an interesting weekend, and all we've got at the moment is 1 hour and 2 hour divergences or reversal prints, which tells us there could be a short-term move, but the current 4 hour and 8 hour are actually still bearish. So the bigger picture is actually saying, like, if you want to do degen things and catch a bounce, that's cool, but the higher probability is that these things actually dip a little bit lower first. So just play that accordingly, manage your risk accordingly. I don't believe this is the bottom. This 2 hour little bounce, I don't think it's the bottom. I think we can go down on these things. So if we get a bounce, just, play it accordingly. Take profits, do what you need to do. I brought in the wrong chart here. Okay, so Chaos, you've got you've given us your situation there on Sol, okay? And Lukey says, chart link, my bro. So we'll get Chaos to chart some link. That's fine. Do you have a link chart by any chance? Oh, he's not there.
Sorry, there we go. I was just talking as well, completely forgot I wasn't even there. Sorry. I saw all the comments just now, so I've just brought it up. I'll have a look at that in a minute. We have obviously lost that channel that we were speaking about, but I'll have a look at it in a minute. But I've got some other stuff to show you later on in the show when you're ready, Dill. Link's not one of them. We're
gonna get you going now. Then there's a couple of things on my side. So I've got a ton of charts for you guys. We've actually got so much. We've got AVAX we're talking about now. Then I've got let's see what we got. We got ENA, Lido, SUI, which is all entries I'm trying to get. Virtual, another entry I'm trying to get. CRV, AERO, also a banger. I mean, PEPE, also a banger. So there's a couple of bangers coming here, guys. And basically what you need to do is select maybe 2 or 3 of your favorites and watch them this week, because these could be a couple of entries here for you guys. Okay, so news on AVAX, grayscale files S1 for Avalanche. Doesn't seem to do much. I think maybe people knew about it. It was front running a little bit. We saw some pumping this weekend, but in classical crypto style, what are we rejecting off the VWAP from the highs? You can see, so AVAX has fallen over. Higher time frame looking a little bit bearish. Okay, we've got reversal prints and things like that. Lower time frame, is there a possibility that AVAX has a short-term bounce to the upside? I think there is a possibility, okay? And what's Dan saying? My favorite influencer said alt season imminent. Jay, do you concur? Alt season is imminent, guys. Do not clip this part. Okay. So if there's going to be a short-term bounce on AVAX, we've got to look at a couple of pointers. Here's our 2-hour showing a reversal at the bottom. You can see something is going down there now. Let's look at the 1 hour and see what's happening here. Okay, there's our 1 hour showing a reversal. So we can see that, this region now is starting to talk to us that, it's a potential bounce zone. So AVAX, it's either bouncing here and then looking for that rejection at that undercarriage. You can see that's the most obvious rejection. So it's either bouncing now at, say, 24, looking for a rejection around 25, 25.2. Alternatively, they bleed it down a little bit more and then they give us some kind of bounce here, and then maybe we ride that up before potentially some more downside. So I've given you this whole region here. I'm not trying to be too fussy with exactly what we're looking at. So for me, the region is 24.05 down to 23.1. Anywhere in that zone makes sense for me that we're going to get some divergence or some kind of bounce here. Look at that. The divergence print, for example, on that 1 hour could be nice. Okay, for AVAX, you've got 50-day moving average backing you up. You've got 786 fib. You've got horizontals. So in terms of a degen bounce zone, short-term bounce zone where you can squeeze a few percent, it's one of these two zones making the most sense to me on AVAX. So I've just grouped them together and play that area. You're looking for a bounce. And if anything materializes much bigger than, say, this undercarriage, well, then I'd say it's a bonus. Okay, so, if you do start blowing up and going through that, like, party on, but don't get your hopes up. Okay, so don't look much beyond a move into that zone and then some more downside. Okay, so that's 25 to 25.2, give or take. I was reading on X, we were in alt season, must be true. It has to be true, bro. If you saw it on X, it's true, guys. That's just the rule. Okay, so there you go. AVAX possible short-term bounce. Cool. And then somebody was in the chat talking about hype, saying hype is finally dumping. And I absolutely shat myself because the hype is one of my best performers, and I didn't want to have to give up on my hype situation. Okay, so in fact, I'm going to take a little bit more profit on this thing. Guys are freaking me out here. There we go. Let's take another 10% off there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're in the chats making me edgy. Yeah. Okay, so clipping a little bit more off on hype. So I'm 60,000 long now, just trying to bank a little bit as we go. And this AVAX better bounce now. Okay, bounce now or cut it off. I'm telling you, it needs to bounce immediately. And I see the Bitcoin long's okay. Okay, so far we're okay. Okay, let's go. Let's talk entries. Okay, ENA. Why am I interested in ENA? Now, this thing is fun. Okay, this is proper fun. Look at this at the bottom here. We've got bullish reversal dot, okay, on the 2 hour, bullish divergence print, snake eyes reversal as well on the oscillator, and we have a possible chaos STB into a massive order block. We got double order block and fib sitting right here. So I've started an ENA position. What I'd love to see is well, obviously a straight pump straight from here, that will be ideal. But a nice situation is second dip, bang into that zone, get everyone nice and bearish, and then pop, okay? Send us back up, and then a nice rejection later on, and then they can send us back down to hell. So that is the ideal scenario for me on ENA at the moment. I've in my first buy. I've got another order waiting at about 60, where we at about 625. I've got another order waiting on ENA, so 625, and looking for that little sweep into that zone. And you can see we've got a higher time frame fib cover as well. Look at that. We've got our 382 fib sitting over there. Let's just take that away. 382 fib at 612. Okay, and we are untapped at the moment. And let's see if we can get a short-term bounce out of ENA on the 2 hour. Give us something to work with and then get out. Okay, so we're not looking for a big pump on this thing. Short-term little bounce. And let's see on the 4. That 4 is getting towards the bottom, okay, but we're not there yet. This 4 could be a journey. We could get the divergence whole situation on that 4, and that essentially then takes us back down to these types of levels here. Okay, that's the 55 down to 52.5. Okay, so that's your probable bullish divergence on the 4 hour blue dot reversal that Mia's talking about, things like that. 55 down to 52. Short-term degen bounce anywhere in this region for me. Okay. And yeah, Mia, good one. I saw Nia actually had a bounce off that zone, off my second order picked up on Nia, and then it popped up, I don't know, a few percent, and then the Asians came and they sent us down. Okay. Syntax says, watch your call on link. So no pressure, Chaos. You gotta provide syntax with some information here. Okay, guys, so there's ENA, so possible short-term bounce into a longer-term dip. Lido, also another one here for me. Lido's obviously had a great narrative. You can see we got nice reversals here on the 2 hour as well. The concerning thing for me, and it looks exactly like ENA, we haven't tapped our 786 here. We haven't tapped our fib. And it always bothers me when these alts don't tap the fib. So I've got one order in on Lido, possibility bang, and then a little pop, just like ENA. It's basically the same setup. Okay, we're looking for the same situation here. 1318 is a nice fib for me to tap on Lido. So look out for that one. And then a short-term move. We're not looking to shoot the lights out. We just want a short-term pump and try and grab something out of it. And then lower down, where does our 4 hour reset? Where's the WSOT trade where it's a high conviction 4 hour reversal? Right now it's looking like 125. Okay, 125. That's going to give us time for our 4 hour to come here and reset for us. So 125 is going to be my backup zone. Okay, so the view is short-term bounce again. Might be 1%, might be 3%, might be 7%. We don't know what this market is going to give us, but we know that this is a reaction zone. Once it rolls over, I'm looking for this move down here and then a nice pump out of that zone. Okay, and Mark's all over ILV again. Is he chasing it again? We must relook. Okay, and Iman says he's long virtual. I've got virtual as well for you guys. Okay, so Lido, you get the play. Okay, now everybody in Chart Hackers, all the Chart Hackers members have access to these charts that you see right here. And also on a Monday, I update all the higher time frame charts, and I realized I still need to do that for the Chart Hackers guys. So hang in there, it's coming. Okay, it's coming. And Michaela is trading core. That was from DJ Dave, I think, last night as well. And Sol seems to be doing its thing. Okay, well, what's happening? Am I missing something here, guys? Are we getting a bounce?
Hold on, let's have a look.
Oh, yeah. There, look, little bouncy. Okay, little bouncy off the zones. Okay. And Noel got kicked out of the house. Makes sense, bro. You shouldn't be doing that. Bro. It's not a good vibe. Okay, Sui. Okay, yeah, same story here. Look at this. Okay, again, Sui, Lido, ENA, short-term bounce zone. We're not tapping the fib, and it's frustrating me. And I've seen this time and time again where you think you're out of the woods and then they come back and then you get the bounce. Okay, so 3.42 for Sui is on the table for me. Look out for 3.42. It's a bounce zone. Okay, so you can see 100-day MA 786 trend looking good. Our oscillator on the 2 hour trying to reverse. bearing in mind that our 4 hour is giving us a slightly different picture. Let's just take a look at the 4 hours still coming down. So again, we might have a situation like that. And what does that tell us? It means we have to print a new low on the alts. So that could be, for instance, be that on 𝗬𝗍. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys are getting the pattern. I hope you're getting the picture. So 𝗬𝗍, 342 bounce zone and 332 bounce zone. Okay, looking for the bounce. Again, where can 𝗬𝗍 go? I'm not shooting high. Look at that undercarriage there. If we do push high, we're just tapping into that zone and then looking for a reversal. So targets 362, 366. Give or take. Okay, I'm trading shoes with a guy living under the bridge. He's really giving up. He's giving up stuff to trade. Hey? He's really he's confident. Okay, let's see. Mr. Little can't handle himself anymore. He wants Link. So I think let's give them what they want, and then I'm going to give you guys virtual, CRV, AERO, PEPE, even some Pengu.
I've got PEPE.
Oh, you got PEPE. Okay, so even some Pengu if they behave. Okay, okay. Give the man what he wants. Give the man what he wants. Mickey says, hype looks really good. Can you guys in the chats decide? Because somebody said hype is dumping. You made me panic close. Mickey says hype is looking good. Can you decide? Or can you make a call there, guys? Okay.
Nice.
Fuck, Jay. You know it, bro. You know it's going to rip. Okay. Ooh, Link looks like... What is this? Is this Link?
This is Link. So we gave this... I think this must have been on live trading as well.
I'm trying to catch a Link bounce here. Am I going to get rinsed?
No, there is going to be a bounce. Basically, what we were planning for was this long. Now, what's happened is there was a stop loss in play, which we gave. So people shouldn't have got wrecked. They should have just simply been stopped out, which is a shame, but you can't win them all, guys. It is what it is. To be honest with you, with Link, so we've got a couple of key... There's not a lot to say on Link at the minute. I want to see some more candles print, but essentially, we've made a low on the oscillator, okay? We know all about the shit the bed scenario where we get this before the move, and that can obviously pan out where you get something really to the anchored VWAP, or even potentially down to this discount zone, sorry, the equilibrium zone, which is also where an order block lies. So this is quite a big move to the downside, and on that basis, I'm not really prepared to give a long or a short on Link at the minute now that this trade's failed. But what I can say to you guys is watch the candles. If we come down to this anchored VWAP and we lose this, okay, and we start to make our way down to 22, all right, it's still 10%. It's a bit of a dip. There's going to be a good long coming there, and then we're going to be targeting back up to this zone here. So if you took Link and you got stopped out here at the base of this candle, sorry that you got stopped out, guys. We'll get the next one. But let's not revenge trade for the sake of it. Let's let this play out. Dylan, if you're looking for a bounce now, this is obviously a zone where we are right now. Where it can bounce from.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the chart I was playing off.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit naughty. I'll show you my chart. Okay, but just to finish your conviction zones based on the indicator, where's your big one?
So,
where's your like long where you sell your grand, basically?
If we see 22 on the nose, okay, it's an equilibrium point. It's a strong order block point. By this point, the shit the bed scenario would have played out. We'd have made our low. We'd have got our bullish divergence, hopefully. And then I'm fairly confident, can never be 100%, but there's going to be, certainly up to the point of control, a 17% move. And back up to the premium zone, it's a 25% move, guys. So depending on how low... listen, you got stopped out here for 1% or 2. If you, on a 10x, can get an extra... Where are we? From this point here. If you can make a 250% trade, you're not going to care about your 2% there. So, you know, the whole point of getting stopped out is to get better entries. I think, Dylan, if we don't bounce here, we could see 22.
Yeah. So, look, guys, it depends how degen you want to go. Okay, really. I mean, I'm sitting in a Link short. I've tried to catch the Link bounce here off order block and fib. I mean, literally, it's a little bit degen. It's like filthy Monday behavior. Okay. So, you know, here's your degen zone is 24.35. And then you can see I've got quite a nice confluence zone here. VWAP order block fib, 618 fib. 23.5. So, you know, could be a small term little bounce here, and then a drop into that zone could give you a few percent, and then we start going to chaos's levels lower down. Okay, it just depends how filthy you want to get on a Monday. Like, you can also just sit out and be like, okay, higher time frames got to come lower, just sit back and chill. there's nothing wrong with sitting back and waiting for it to come to you. Okay. And Dale Lane says 63.64 for ENA. Let's take a look there. What are we on now? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You kind of on support there, Dale. It's looking all right there, sir. Okay. Sui, you've got, you know what I want for Sui, a little fib tap. Virtual. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating because it's not there yet, guys. We're waiting for this little dip. And Robert says, 113 is near. Why so much fear? Virtual, guys, 1.14. I've actually got a limit order waiting there as well. Order block, it's the sweep of the lows. Yesterday there was bullish divergence on the 2. Now we got bullish divergence on the 1 as well. Let's just look at the 2 again. Okay, second dip into the lows. So it's coming for virtual. I think there's going to be a scalp. And virtual's been an interesting trade lately. I mean, look at these moves. Every time we hit these lows, we're getting pumps out of this thing. So it's safe to assume we get another one. Obviously, there's a chance it fails. Okay, four knocks on the door. Maybe it fails. But in terms of reaction zones, here we are on virtual 1.14. Looks okay to me. So use that as support. And your exit plan on virtual is close under 1.125. So if you close under 1.125, then maybe you want to start cutting because virtual gets quite filthy if you start losing those levels. Look at that. And I think it's then inevitable that you're going to be looking for longs on virtual at these types of zones. Okay, so that is 80, 86 and 70. Okay, we'll deal with that when we need to. Sometime in September, I guess, it's coming. I mean, really, I genuinely think it's coming. But the 84, 86, and 70, whatever. Okay, we'll talk about it when we have to. Let's go CRV. Little long I gave in Chart Hackers earlier today as well. There were a couple of bounce zones that we were playing around with this morning. Remember, if you're in Chart Hackers, you know, like if you're watching the show, you're obviously getting alpha from me every single day. But if you're in Chart Hackers, you're getting these setups. Like I'm sitting in front of my Mac here, dropping shit for you guys all day. I'm giving you these setups. I'm telling the guys I'm underwater in Ondo. I'm buying more over here. If it loses the zone, I'm cutting, blah, blah, blah. You can see I'm operating in here all day long. Here's some PEPE there for you guys. Here's what is this one? Here was virtual, giving the zone, you know, at the bottom of the area there. So there's a lot happening in Chart Hackers during the day. Okay, so if you're an active trader and you know you love this stuff, besides my channel, never mind this incredible team that we've got in there. Okay, I mean this is just a little taste of what goes on in there. Maruk, interestingly, SPX, I took the long, and I don't know if I gave it to you guys. It was at the range low. Let's see if it's here. It was at the range low on the dump, SPX, but it wasn't like it was a shit trade the last couple of days. So let's look at SPX because it is pumping. There's link bouncing a little bit now. Let's quickly look at SPX.
I think you did give it because I think I entered. I'm not sure if it was on maybe it was on your Friday Zoom.
I gave it. I was looking at this thing today. I mean, let me see.
I've been in this for about 3 or 4 days. I think it might have been Friday.
So, well, look, I mean, there is divergence, guys. It's the same. Look, it's the same as a lot of these alts. The only thing about SPX, look at this. It's lost the entire move from Friday, where things like Sol are still sitting up there. So yeah, bullish divergence for SPX on the 1 hour short-term move. You might just get a simple little thing like that, and then it comes down. Okay. Izu says Link is flying. I am in. There's Link. I said I was trying to chase a short-term Link pump. There it is. Okay. Okay. So we got the short running, and now we got the little long bounce there. Okay. Come on, Linky. Come on, Linky Poo. Okay, just do stuff. Okay, hype is not moving apparently. So what? Must I close it, guys? What do you want me to do with hype? I mean, fucking hell, it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey. Okay, let's talk AERO. So, couple of things for me on AERO. Interestingly, and I thought we were going to get it yesterday. I thought we were going to get a pump on AERO to give us a nice short. Okay, the reason I'm feeling a little bit bearish on AERO is we got quite a sharp divergence print here now. And our VWAP reversal. So that thing is finally on the daily starting to look a little bit tired. And you can see it's rejected at the 618, the macro 618. There's also quite a big order block up here. So, you know, for me, leaning kind of bearish on AERO on the next pump. So I think we could get quite a nice short on that next move into that order block past the 618. So guys, 155 into about 162 for AERO could be quite nice, okay? And look for some kind of reversal there. But in the short term, there could be a bounce play coming for you. So if you want to catch this possible rejection short in that zone, there might be a ride up for you on AERO. And where is that ride? Most likely for me, well, it's a little bit lower down. It's from 1.306 to 1.28. 1.306 to 1.28. AERO, it's 786 trend order block fib in play here. So yeah, nice little one. And then you could get that reset on the 1 hour as well for you guys. So AERO short-term pump, and then higher time frame sell-off. And core is pumping. Please tell me it's
core
not
really is
away.
pumping a lot.
Sakes.
I just had a glance at it. It's
I
really,
hope the guys got it. DJ and Dave had it on our Zoom last night.
Look at
Okay,
that
there, it's
candle.
kind of exploded. Okay, nice. Okay.
That's cool.
Nice little wake up, but look, it did sell off a bit there. Okay, so that's probably a little squeeze happening there on core. Okay, that's nice. Zim says, are they in the golden pocket? Guys, look, a lot of tokens are in zones right now. Like I said, short-term possible bounces and possible STB scenarios here as well. Let's let Chaos look at PEPs for us. Show us some PEPE.
Cool. I haven't actually drawn many lines on this, but I did bring it up before the show. I've got a banger on BCH, Cardano, and HON, by the way, if you want any of those. But
Cardano we can do, definitely.
okay.
And let's
BCH and HON are completely opposing trades to each other as well, which is interesting. Pepe. So, I mean, listen, you just showed this on virtuals just now, right? 4 taps on the bottom. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th time banging into this order block on Pepe. I'm just on the 3 hour. I just picked a time frame at random when we started talking about it before. Exactly the same as what we've got playing out. We want to see a reversal here. You know, we get the same scenario as usual. Potentially, we might even dip to cover this wick. Okay, and just to take out all of these lows, just dip into this order block. This is a very bullish order block as well. And then I think we might get our bounce. We start to make maybe either an inverse head and shoulders or just a straight up series of higher lows and highs. And we start to make our way back and essentially recovering this imbalance candle, or 2 candles rather. So for me,
how deep is this move here that you're looking at here?
we're near the bottom now. I mean, it depends whether we take out that order block. If we do go down into the next block, it's still a 4.5 to 5% move. But if this is the block where we've already wicked into once, from the absolute bottom of the wick that we just made to the low is 1%. So
Okay, nice. Well,
you could enter it.
Here's a
Sorry?
little kicker for you on Pepe. 999 again. 999. I mean, I've been German twice today. 999 is the 200-day moving average as well. Okay, so yeah, extra support there on Pepe there for you guys. Chris Chambers says, is anyone taking this 𝗨𝗱𝗊 seriously? I must say, I'm not that interested, to be fair. I think there's trades where, we might get less manipulation or whatever without it, I guess. I haven't really looked too much.
Trump, Melania, all of these fucking shit coins that are released by all these dudes. Do you know what? I'm done with that. Let's just trade.
Yeah, I'm just not interested. Yeah, I'm
trade
just
what you
not
know, right?
interested. Okay, Malik says he wants the long Pepe at 984. Yeah, fair call. There's order block there. There's the wick low. All these things make sense to me, sir. All good. Divergence in play. That looks good. Let's see what else we got. Hype is pumping, guys. Thanks so much. That's hilarious. I think we've covered everything. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of stuff here. Guys, that was fun. I mean, there's 53 minutes just flew by. JS007 says long soul now. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, look, we covered it in the beginning of the show. This is your bounce zone, 194, 195. You can see there it is there. It's your first reversal print in play. If there is going to be more chop, you're probably looking at 190. And then again, my view is I still think we're going to see lower at some point. So, whether it's a short-term bounce now and then down, or it's a drop lower and then down, I do think we're going to see lower. So you can see there's stuff here. Look at that. There's an undercarriage there, 185. and there's a big level at 177 on Sol. So these are all possible. The question is, how do you get there? Okay, and short term looks like we could get a bounce there. First, Princess, I did cover CRV. That chart is going to be in Chart Hackers there.
Well, you started, but you got distracted there.
Did I?
You brought it up and then talking something else. Yeah, because I didn't catch pairing or anything either.
Oh, sorry. God, guys, forgive me. Okay, here it is. Here's CRV. Dropped into the pocket. Oh, yes, I got distracted. I was telling you guys what I was doing in Hackers. So drops into a nice order block zone. Okay, very simple order block, big horizontal, looking for reversals, that type of thing. And then you get it. Okay, so oscillator turned up. CRV for me, the exit is a close under these lows. Bang. So close under 8155. Okay, I am running it. I did add once. And I do have a second order at 82. Okay, so I've got a second order waiting on WEX at 82 for CRV over there. Okay, so if we do dip lower, looking for that. Okay, on the CRV, and I'm expecting some kind of bounce on this guy. Not massive. Okay, there's our undercarriage again. You can see this picture on all of these altcoins. Okay, we got the undercarriage in the way now. A lot of them printed double top. So what you could do as simply as possible on these alts, take your fibs highest to the lows, and you want to look at your 236, you want to look at your 382. And these are typically going to be your, slightly bearish reaction zones here on these things. There you go. Okay, so CRV, 85, 87. Look like fair TP zones, fair rejection zones for you guys, okay? And could be some ping pong this week, I agree. Okay, boys. Thank you, sir. You obviously invited to drop WSOT trades in our channel, please, sir. You see, Mia's saying she's looking forward to it. Thank you, James. Anything you'd like to say to everybody?
Good luck, everyone. We're gonna need it, I think.
Oh, you had to add that, eh? You had to add that. Oh, sends shivers down my spine, the fear. Okay, we're gonna hit a Billy later. Okay, boys, see you later. Okay, guys, thank you. That was good. Enjoy that. Monday, big week, guys. Okay, so nice news on Friday. Now the market's digesting, selling everything off on these alts. Short-term bounce. I still think we go one step lower, and then we get the high conviction 4-hour reversals, things like that. Let's see how it goes. I'm back tomorrow. We cover whatever the market's giving us. We deal with it tomorrow. Okay. See you guys later.